One of the most common mistakes I see people making when they get on their webcams, which is a channel, or YouTube, or when they want to present somebody to anything, is having their face obscured in shadow. Our brains really need to see each other's faces. I mean, and if you actually trying to communicate somebody whose face is in shadow, your brain is going to go into overtime to try and make sense or read into every single little clue it can get that's obscured to make sense of what the other person is saying. On the movie sets, you know, they can spend a day or two doing a big action sequence, but they can spend hours and hours and hours just doing the close-ups for the faces, because they know from almost 100 years of experience now that the big close-up, what you see on people's faces, really, 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 really matters, and matters a lot. I mean, we can all watch a whole program of just people's heads talking, because we can get so much information from just the expressions that they have, you know, and sort of moving pictures are actually a bonus on the side, as it were. So one of the huge tips in this sort of world of unique channels, of unique personal channels, is to, whenever you point the camera at yourselves, is to ensure or think about how, if your face is visible, if you can actually see your own face. It's almost like a courtesy of the new age of media, that people, you can show your face to people, that they can see it. Most people on the webcams, we've all done it, it's sort of like, you know, they have their computers up against the wall. There's no illumination on the wall. And a very simple thing you can do is just have a little angle point and just bounce at the wall. And the light enough will illuminate your face that people can see it. It's terribly important, because you're taking away one extra barrier to communicating effectively. Whoever's looking at you now no longer has to have part of their brain working out or reading into the smallest signals what you're trying to communicate. So whatever you're trying to say will come across that much easier. It sounds like a small tip, but it's deeply, deeply important, and it's stuff that people get wrong all the time. I mean, when I talk to people on Skype sometimes, all I see is a silhouette. I just can't just turn the video off, because it's just too distracting. This is too distracting. So in this world of microchannels, that's probably the first biggest tip I would give. I mean, a year ago, I would have thought that if I stood here and sort of said that you'd all be making videos, I know even in a course like your own, where it's about media production, that it wouldn't really be necessary for me to have to talk about this, about who's going to use YouTube and stuff like that. Now, a year later, I'm absolutely convinced that almost everybody in this room within a year will have some kind of video made with them appearing in it that will appear somewhere for somebody else to watch, to try and understand. Even if it's just a webcam video, something that's recorded on Skype, it'll be there and it'll exist. And I promise you, we'll have to a year from now, it'll be almost a complete certainty that this will happen. So that's the one thing. That's probably the key thing if you want to share yourself on the video, on your channels, on things like a blog or YouTube or whatever. And now the other thing, I may actually need somebody's help for this, is the use of voice. Again, I'm not actually one to talk because I'm such a quiet talker myself, but it's really, really important that when you talk to a camera or talk to your webcam or talk to anything like that, that you learn how to use your voice. Okay, you say, well, we can all talk. Everybody here can talk. Everybody, I hope, everybody can sort of, speak and articulate themselves. But there's also a technique that presenters know that that kind of needs to be shared more widely. And I'd just like to share it with you this afternoon. If there's anything you can take away from anything I've said this afternoon, is the ability to be able to speak to a camera in such a way that people beyond it, the people in their living rooms or their computers, can actually hear what you're saying. As I said, you'll all be able to, you will have to at some point, I'm sure, communicate across the digital video medium. So Perhaps a volunteer sitting on the stairs over there. Oh, you've got a camera in your hand. That's even better. That's great. Now, if you just take a step back. Now, what most people do when they talk to a camera is they talk to the lens. Right. You imagine that. That's the thing that you see in front of you. So it's very easy. So if I talk, what's your name?
Sheila.
Sheila. If I talk to Sheila, and I was asking her questions or interviews and stuff like that, that's fine. She's just a person I met in the street I want to interview. However, I want to explain to the people back here or the viewers or the people I'm going to put this up on YouTube, what I want to do is reach into them themselves. So if you just, Sheila, I just want you to talk to the camera, so say anything like, cheese, broken, whatever you want to do. Just talk to them.
I'm Sheila and I'm in my 4th year creative multimedia class and loving it.
All right, that's what now you all heard her voice there. I'm just using that as a reference, right? Now, Barry's over there. Now, I want you to imagine that your voice is... Don't have to change your voice at all, but I just want to imagine that your voice is reaching Barry. Just try that.
Okay. My name's Sheila and I'm a multimedia student in the Tip Institute and I love it.
Yeah, that's a bit self-conscious. Yeah. No, you talk to Barry. He's just over there.
Well, Barry, how are you today? Are you good? Having great fun. That's the best place for you.
Just look at the lens, though, and just imagine that your voice is just carrying over to Barry.
Okay.
The same thing again.
Well, Barry, pet.
No, you're talking to the lens.
I know.
Yeah, see,
it's very hard.
I don't know if you're sort of picking up on it. I mean, is that if you talk to the lens, on the camera or the webcam or anything else like that, your voice will just drop away. It will just fall in the middle. What that means is that when you're watching this back on the screen or in your living room or wherever else like this, the voice won't carry. People will stop listening to you, in other words. It's just not interesting enough, you're not captivating them enough. The way past it is simply to talk to me. I mean, I'm just over here, just talk to me.
Talk to you rather than talking to
just speak normally.
We did this in audio, we learnt a little bit about this kind of thing with Mike Hiley last year. Very interesting.
All right. You just need to speak up a bit more, just a bit
Sorry,
more, so I can hear. I can't even hear from here.
It's quite funny. Everyone always says I'm really loud, but actually, lots of people never ever can hear me, unless I want them to.
There you go. I don't know if you heard that, but the last little bit there when she was just talking to me normally was actually what you'd want to hear. I mean, like this last few comments, she's just got stop being self-conscious, and the voice reached past the lens to me. And if that was recorded and played back, it would sound like it was in your space where you're watching it at home. This is something you should just practice and practice and practice, because it'll be very necessary. Thank you very much, Sheila. Thanks very much. In this new world of media that's coming up, it's something that I see all the time. Professional presenters learn this. They practice this. There are little colleges to go to this. And there's no reason why you guys shouldn't know it, because you're all going to be presenting stuff at some point, whether you go into a new job in marketing or whatever jobs you go into after here, you're going to have to, at some point, be presenting yourself, whether it's, whatever. I mean, like, maybe you're trying to sort of pitch something to your boss to get something new done. You're going to have a video presentation or talk to them across a Skype connection. The FaceTime stuff will take off, because it is the future, as they say. So that's really it. That's really my basic points for today. It really is that the apps that you see on your smartphones are reflecting what's really happening on the web. The stories that you tell have different aspects. They're all equally valid, but they can be told completely differently, and they can come together in the ways that you get to choose how to make it come together. It's not broadband anymore. It's about broadcasting anymore. It's about what you want to say to the world, and you can say it more effectively by letting people see who you are, letting people see their faces, and by just speaking beyond the camera lens to the person that you imagine beyond, like Sheila, or to Barry, or to anybody at the back. And I think that's it. That's my sort of basic tips for today. If anybody's got any questions.